Hi, my name is Caitlin. I was a typical 12-year-old American girl living in a middle class family. I've never thought about having a pen pal from Zimbabwe, nor have I ever imagined a relationship lasted for so long. It all started with an assignment. The teacher asked us to pick one place for a pen pal program in our school. I chose Zimbabwe because the name sounds exotic and unfamiliar. I've traveled to many European countries, but I'd never imagined traveling to Africa or even wondered what life must be like there. For me, this is like a beginning of an adventure. Not knowing who will receive the letter, and with great curiosity, I began the first letter introducing myself.
Hi, my name is Martin. I was born in 1983 in Zimbabwe, 3 years after the country was liberated. I live with my dad, my mom, and my brothers in the slum, but for me, it was home. During the day, my mother stored our pots and pans beneath the bed, and at night, she stacked them in the corner so all of us can sleep there. I was in a class of 50 students, and not many of us had the chance to participate in this pen pal program. I was chosen because I was one of the top scoring students in my class. I read the letter from Caitlin and imagined her life as very different from mine. I was excited to know more about her.
I originally assumed that Martin and I are pretty similar since we had so much to talk about. He writes with sophisticated words, which makes me imagine that he's a smart person. However, I've always felt like he's hiding something from me because whenever I asked him to send a photo of himself, he would not respond for months. I once even received a letter written in the gift wrap I sent him previously, and that was when I eventually realized that his life in Zimbabwe is not so fortunate.
This week, my father lost his job, and my family struggled to come up with the funds to keep me in school. It feels like my dream of studying in a US university started to shatter. I was wanting to finish my A level, but now I'm not even allowed to continue going to school. I'm starting to work as a tea boy, and I carried luggages, but all of the hard work resulted in little pay. It feels like it's going to be forever to get myself back into school. Caitlin has recently asked me for a photo of myself, and now she's asking for more. I appreciate that she's interested in knowing more about me, but I just couldn't afford taking another. I wanted Caitlin to help me, but I don't want to tell her the truth. I don't I don't know how I should speak of my situation because I'm afraid that my poor living conditions will scare her.
Martin finally replied to me after a long time since I last requested a photo from him. In this photo, his family is crowded in a room that was only as big as my living room. I could see the holes in the wall and the water buckets tightly squeezed under his bed. He told me in his following letters that he could no longer afford to go to school, so I sent him my money earned for babysitting to support him. He told me in his letters that he wanted to go to US universities, so along with my mom, we contacted the institutions and tried hard to earn him an opportunity to come to study here. Martin does not receive a full scholarship from any of the colleges he applied to, so, my mom, in a final effort, shares Martin's story with the president of Villanova University in the hopes that it may move the university to provide him with a full scholarship. And to our surprise, being touched by Martin's story, the president of Villanova University agrees to full scholarship.
Thanks to Caitlin, the person who I immediately thought about but was reluctant to ask for help. Along with her family, she sent money, clothing, and scaffolds for her house, which made our lives a lot better. The money allowed me to complete my semester and register for A level exams, and they continued helping with my admissions and scholarships. Without them, my dream to study in the US would be impossible.
The letters gradually formed a bond between us that connected our happiness, sadness, excitement, and worries. Over time, my interactions with Martin changed me in some ways. As our friendships grew, I'm starting to open up my eyes to more of the world than I am living. I'm starting to sympathize with people who are living in minority communities in my society. As I truly understand the hardships people are enduring in other parts of the world, it really struck me how hard Martin studies despite the harsh environment he's in. I began feeling a little ashamed that I was bugged by all kinds of petty issues in high school drama. Martin is like a friend and mentor to me. Under his influence, I started to really think about what kind of person I want to be in the future and focus on developing myself as a better individual. His original idea of pursuing medicine inspired me to become a nurse, and his stamina motivated me to always work towards excellence.
Now I have successfully completed my education at Villanova University. I finished my MBA at Duke University and is currently an African analyst for an investment banking firm. Caitlin is like a family member to me. With each letter written, we see each other's growth and became more and more curious about each other. She supports me always without asking for a return. She planted a seed of hope and continues to support and motivate me to pursue further education.
I Will Always Write Back is a memoir of cross-cultural friendship between Martin Ganda and Caitlin Alafranca, co-written with Liz Welch. Caitlin and Martin had originally never thought about turning their stories into a book, but as they shared their stories to people around them, they were suggested to use writing as an approach to spread their stories to even more people and to make them believe in the life-changing power of story sharing.
After reading the book, I realized that privilege is really a relative thing. Compared to Caitlin, Martin might seem as a not-so-privileged child, but he is privileged over his other classmates for being smarter and having Caitlin as an aide and a friend. Speaking about Martin and Caitlin, they began at totally different levels of living status, but they finally get to rejoice at the same platform. It is obvious that the not-so-privileged would take more effort and a longer time to get to that position, but at the same time, their stories has proven to me that it's indeed possible to happen, that hard work and luck can compensate for the lack of privilege. Some of the major themes of this book include love and contribution, equality and privilege, friendship and understanding, opportunities, and luck. The changes Caitlin and Martin experience are evidently portrayed as consequences of their interactions. The differences in their lives are further emphasized through the unique arrangements of multiple perspectives. From this book, we can see that stories intrigue us to learn about seemingly irrelevant things, but provide us a possible new field of interests. Martin's story provides Caitlin incentives and sparks curiosity that pushes her to know more about Africa and lives in other parts of the world. Caitlin's stories, at the same time, helps Martin embrace the life he could have if he works hard and motivates him to try harder. In this memoir, the chronological order of narration is mixed with excerpts from their letters in the unique dual perspective structure. The structure enhances the style similar to the process of letter writing and effectively advances the story and reveals details vital to readers' understandings of the themes. A common drawback of writing in multiple perspectives is abrupt transitions and less continuous developmental patterns. However, the letter as a medium of communication becomes a thread that smoothly connects the alternating narrations without interfering with the establishment of deep emotional connections. What's more, stories from other people drive us to create our own. Caitlin was inspired by Martin's medical aspirations to pursue a career in nursing, and Martin is enlightened by the living conditions Caitlin has and makes up the mind to fight for a better future. The ending shows the best outcome the interactions of story could possibly have. Though having opposite worlds and different lives, they become closer through sharing their own stories, and they finally get to reach each other's side of life and create stories together.